Hello, my friends. If you've been watching me, you know that this channel is all about individual rights, and we got another big issue going on here. If you also know that I am very sympathetic of Republicans. I agree with them about 87% of the time. I agree with the left 0%. Well, there's actually a few issues I do agree with the furry lefties on, but there's a new thing that's come about. DirecTV just canceled Newsmax, and boy, the conservatives are up in arms for good reason that they're up in arms. But this isn't it's not supposed to be a political matter. DirecTV is a private company owned mostly by at&t. It is private property. This is something that conservatives don't seem to fully understand. They want their guns. I do too. I agree with them on that. They want lower taxes. I agree with them on that. In fact, I think taxes ought to be eliminated. They think the government and the feds ought to get off of their private property and get out of their phones. I agree with all of that. I agree with them on so many things, but they still don't seem to understand private property. And so a bunch of senators and congressmen, more than 40 congressmen, as you're looking at right there, have gotten together and said, this needs to be looked into. This is horrible. And these are politicians. Politicians are in charge of, they think they're in charge of regulating capitalism. And they've been doing that immorally for 130, 140 years in America. So they've got a lot of power. So if they get up in front of the public and they say, this ought to be investigated, we ought to be looking into it, this is wrong and everything else, that is a threat. That's an implied threat to DirecTV, to at&t. Those are private companies. You need to keep your effing mouth shut if you are a politician and somebody with private property is doing something. Yes, none of us conservatives or libertarians, as I am, are happy that DirecTV is, flexing its leftist muscle. One of the owners is a major contributor to the left. That's a company out of Houston, I think it is. But it is none of politicians' business. Now, I've written about this, and I've talked about this over and over. I wrote a brand spanking new Constitution 1 month ago today that I published on Amazon. You're looking at it right now in front of you. That's the cover of it. Go buy it on Amazon. It's only $3.99 for the paperback, $1.99 for the Kindle edition, something like that. It's cheap. It completely starts over on the Constitution, basing all of society on individual rights, highly, severely eliminating government, almost eliminating government. There's very little government's supposed to do. It's just supposed to protect our bodies, our property, our money, and our actions that we take with those things. The U.S. Congress does not understand this. The presidents haven't understood this. Most people don't understand this. This channel is based on people trying to get to understand that. And of course, even what my favorite potential conservative candidate for the 2024 presidential election is Ron DeSantis out of Florida, the governor of Florida. But even he came out and said, this needs to be investigated. Really, Ron? No, it doesn't. There's no investigation here. In a private economy, what you can do is what a lot of conservatives are saying do right now. Cancel your at&t subscriptions. Cancel your DirecTV subscriptions. Go to someplace else. And of course, DirecTV also banned OAN, another conservative news agency. So yeah, and I've got at&t. So now I have to think about canceling at&t. But you know what? Do I have a right to do that? I'm a private citizen. Is Congress going to investigate me for canceling at&t because they canceled Newsmax? I mean, where does the canceling end? The fact is, businesses are private property. I mean, the government likes to call them public property, so the government can use that as an excuse to regulate them, to suppress them. That's why they call private businesses public property. That's why they do it. They need to stop doing that. But you folks, you need to understand what property rights are, what individual rights are. Please read my Constitution. It explains, the very first article explains what individual rights are. It defines them. And people have to understand that so we can have freedom in the United States and freedom around the world. Okay. Y'all take care. Talk to you soon. Leave your comments. Bye now.